sure we're recording. Okay. Up until now, we have been working with radical expressions. We've learned how to change radical expressions to exponential expressions yesterday. We learned that. I think everybody got that pretty well. We've been adding radicals and subtracting radical expressions and simplifying them. Today, we're going to multiply radical expressions. This will be a relatively short class. And I'm just going to start with the first one on this page. It's the page I just emailed to you because I want to add it to this packet. It says multiplying radical expressions. You should have received this in your email yesterday. And it goes to the end of this packet that we've been working on. And if you number them, I want it to be page 17 at packet 2, okay? Okay, we're gonna multiply radical expressions. And believe it or not, this is much easier than adding and subtracting, although that wasn't very bad either. Okay, this is number 1, and the easiest way to explain multiplying radicals is just to do one for you. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure that both your radicals have the same root. Okay, and I think on here probably all of them are square roots this time. But that is one thing you need to make sure of, that they match before you multiply them. Because the rule here says that if you're multiplying radicals and they're the same root, then you can just multiply those together underneath one radical root. Okay, so in this case, we could have, now remember this negative out here is a 1, okay? And if there's no number out front, it's a 1. So what goes in front here is the 1 times -1. Whatever's in front or outside of the house, you need to multiply those together. So we have a -1 out front of this, right? And then we can multiply under the radical also. And so when you multiply 20 and 48 together, we should get 960. Would you check me? $20 times 48. Okay. And then this time, remember, if we were adding these, we would just leave it a B. But we're multiplying same bases. That means we add the exponents. And so we have B squared. All right. So when I multiply these two together, I multiplied the outsides, I multiplied the insides. This is the answer, but it hasn't been simplified yet. Okay, and so we start to simplify. I'm gonna have to do it here. Sandra, am I in your way if I do it this way? Okay. So I just start here because it had a 0, so 96 times 10 helps me to get to the lower numbers. Okay. And 96 will divide by 3, so I have 32, 8 and 4, 4 and 2, 2 and 2. This large number is why we circle our primes, okay, so we don't get lost in all the numbers. You circle only the primes because we're only going to use the primes in our answer. Now we notice that we also have a variable. And so we have a B and a B. Maybe these are stepchildren, I don't know. But they still belong, okay? And so if we're going to simplify this mess right here, radical, we're going to see how many people come out of the house. How many do we need in a group here?
2.
So here's a 2 group. There's a 2 group. I would also encourage you to mark out a group and write it. Mark out a group and write it. If you go through and go group, 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 you'll end up not putting everything here that you need to. So always mark one group out, write it. Mark a group out, write it. Okay, now so far we have 3 groups of 2 that got to come out. 5 does not have a group. 3 does not have a group. Here's a group of B's though, so I've got a B group. Okay, we treat it the very same way. So we found out, now we have everybody where they belong, and we found out if there's a bunch of numbers or variables out here, we're going to multiply all of them. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, B, and I already had a negative out there, the -1. So I have a -8B square roots of 15. Check the back of that and make sure through all of this that I got that right. Would you check the answer?
You're correct.
Okay, good. Now, there is another way that you guys can do this. Okay, did everybody get this one down? This is the easiest one to understand, but sometimes breaking down a number this large is like intimidating. Because the B's were in the house to start with. So when you multiply them, they have to be in the house. Well, it is going to go out when you get here. There were 2 of them. So that makes a group that gets to go out, but it's not a B squared. It's just a B. So if they're in the house, they have to stay under that radical until you can pull them out in a group. Okay. Any questions on what I put up here? Because what I'm going to do now is show you how you can do this a different way, so that's not quite so intimidating. All right? It just adds a possible extra step to your work, but I'll show you what it is. You can do this either way. Remember what we got for an answer. I think I'm going, well, I'll try to leave it and we'll check. So we're going to do the same problem again, but this time, let's simplify each one of them by themselves. Okay? So over here, I have 4 times 5, 2 times 2, and a B. Okay? And so my simplified over here is going to be 1. And I have a 2 group that gets to come out. And the 5 has to stay in. And the B has to stay in because he doesn't have a group. So now we have 2 square roots of 5B. Do you see it? So 2 square roots of 5B, which was easier there. And then that's going to be times. And right now, so let's do it here so I can bring it down. We have a -1 out here right now. -1. Let's do this. 6 times 8, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 3 times 2, and a B. Okay, and so it says we have to have groups of 2. So here's 1. So there's a 2 out here. And here's 1. There's another 2 out here. And then what's left inside is a 3 and a B. So we have, if I multiply the -1 and the 2 and the 2, I have a -4 square roots of 3B. Okay, so far?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can multiply these together the same way. So 2 times -4 is -8. Where's my B? Oh, okay. It's 4. I mean, -8. So it's -8. Right? And then I have square root of 15 B squared. Now, right here is where the extra, come on in, where the extra step comes in is right here. Hi. Yay. You coming to visit us? That you were coming. Now, you might want to, can you see the board from there? Because I always, when I do a Zoom, I have to set this up like this. So for right now, you might want to find another place. This is Shaniqua, you guys. This is Brandy and Sandra. We usually have more people here, but they didn't feel well, so they're on the Zoom with us. Okay? And we'll get you all settled in, okay? This is the extra step that I was telling you about, that there might be one more step, because now you have to look in what you have. And 15 just breaks down to 3 and 5, so it can't go anymore, right? But you always need to check when you do it this way. B is a B and a B. And so this is a group that can go out and leaves this. See, we took it out. -8B square roots of 15. Y'all see? Okay, so either way is perfectly fine with when you just multiply this and simplify. You don't have that extra step you need to look for. But simplifying these separately is easier. So whichever one you choose to use is perfectly fine. Those of you on remote today, how's it look to you?
Pretty good.
Questions? Sherry, I haven't heard from you this morning.
No, ma'am, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm still gonna have to, work on that.
Okay. Hey, you know I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Look over that page, because that's the only page we're going to do today. We're just going to work on those. Look over that page and see if there's another one that you would like for me to work. Or do you feel comfortable? I think there's no surprises on this page. Let me double check. I think the biggest challenge will be, don't forget the negatives that are out front. Sometimes you forget to put the negatives out there. Did you just put a negative out there, Brandy? It looked like you said, oh, negative. What do y'all think? Multiplying radicals is actually easier. I think it goes faster than adding and subtracting radicals. So what do you guys think there at home?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty simple.
Okay, and Rachel, if you would like to come on, stay on, that's fine with me.
Okay, I will.
Okay. I do apologize for it being so short, or maybe it is good that it's short. Does anybody have any questions from the others? And remember that you can stay on this Zoom after I get through recording. But for now, are we ready to stop recording?
Yeah, I think so.
I love you, sleepy people.